What is up, Pokemon Go family? It is your boy, TheGoulGuy, back at you guys yet again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the Great League since it is a league turnover today. Well, not exactly today, it was yesterday. I did not play basically any PvP yesterday, didn't record any PvP anyway yesterday, so we are going to start today in the Great League, but essentially this is a team I ran, basically just played it safe. To be honest, I played it safe. It's a really good team that I came together with. I mean, I pretty much had the same team. I featured a similar team, except this had Annihilate, but this time I actually wanted to play with Claydol. Yes, basically it's a team consisted of Talonflame, Cradily, and Claydol. You see the thumbnail. That is exactly what we're going to be running today, basically to try to hit Veteran. Yes, I am that close, this close to actually hitting Veteran. I know for those people out there that are already experts watching this video, they're probably like, you know, I hit Veteran already. I'm basically almost legend. Guess what? This is like a year in for me, okay? All right, so like I'm taking my time, all right? We are getting to Veteran, and the goal this season is to at least hit Expert. That is basically what I'm going to try to do for you guys here, but anyway, this is the team. We got Talonflame, Cradily, and Claydol. Let's get into the IVs and the moveset. Let's go. All right, first and foremost, we got our Talonflame. Pretty much one of my favorite Pokemon to run in the well, in the Great League anyway. This is the Talonflame we're using right now. 96%, obviously not the best PvP IVs for the Great League, of course. You know, for whatever reason, TheGoulGuy loves to use near perfect IVs for Great League. I have no I mean, we have a whole bunch of other Pokemon. We're like, I have literally a rank 57 right here. I just don't want to build it yet, and like obviously like it's gonna take elite charge TM for me to even get all the moveset. But anyway, this is the one we end up using in this video. 96%. We got Incinerate, Fly, and as well as Flame Charge. Now PvPoke does recommend using Fly and Brave Bird, but I don't really like debuffing myself. I know Brave Bird is a nuke, but Flame Charge, I love that it, you know, it obviously increases the attack of the Incinerate, and it works so handy in a couple of situations. So that is why we end up still using Flame Charge on that one. Next we have our Cradily. The Cradily, this is our Great League Cradily, better PvP IVs for sure, with Bullet Seed, Rock Tomb, and as well as Grass Knot. Pretty much the standard moveset for Cradily. Rock Tomb is amazing to get those debuffs. Grass Knot, of course, a hard-hitting move against water types for sure. And then last but not least, we also have our Claydol. I actually just recently caught a really good PvP IV Claydol, but this is the one we had from 2019. Yes, this is like one of the first Claydols we actually ended up building, with the IVs not exactly the best, but it'll do for this video. Basically, this is one we got. We got Mud Slap, Rock Tomb, and as well as Ice Beam. Yes, so instead of Scorching Sands, it's Ice Beam. Apparently, Great League, well, in PvPoke, they recommend you actually using Ice Beam instead of Rock Tomb, which I found interesting because Rock Tomb kind of does a similar job. I know Ice Beam is probably a little better in a couple of situations, especially against, you know, grass type Pokemon, but I mean, hey, I'm cool with that. I mean, Scorching Sands also does really good against ground. I mean, I don't really see how Ice Beam works better, but I mean, hey, you know, they recommended it. We're going to use Ice Beam here, and that is what we have. But anyway, that is the team. Those are the IVs, and those are the moves. Let's get into the battles. Starting off here. All right, starting off here. Also changed the actual outfit that I got on too to match the hammer, bro. I'm so styled up right now, man. I'm so geeked to have that freaking hammer on me. Love to see it, man. Anyway, going into the first match, we have Superior versus our Talonflame. Of course, a very good lead here. Let's see if what they end up switching out with. They end up switching into the Wheezing. We basically end up switching into our Claydol. We pretty much have an instant answer already, which is very nice. Something I did not have with the Annihilate when I first featured this similar team anyway. But anyway, we're not going to shield here. Well, actually, I do end up shielding here because it's an overheat. I knew they were going to try to go for a nuke. They pretty much was like swirling around. If they were using Brutal Swing, they definitely would have used it ASAP, and they did not use it. So basically what we're going to do, we're just going to use Rock Tomb. I undercharge just a little bit to gain some energy, and we end up farming it the rest of the way down. I probably should have undercharged it just a little bit more for this superior that ends up coming in here, but unfortunately they end up getting to their charge move. We're not going to use another shield. Might as well not get 2 shields down. That would be, yeah, that would be basically instant KO for us. So basically we're going to bring in the Talonflame, and then they switch in a Drapion. Oh my goodness, how are we going to get through this? We end up switching into our Credilli. Now the thing is, Crunch and as well as Aqua Tail will do a decent amount of damage, especially from a Shadow Drapion, and we did not debuff them yet, so we're just going to let the first one at least go, and then I try to get to the Rock Tomb before they get to another charge move. They pretty much already got to their next charge move already. I should have known already based off of how quick Drapion is to get to those charge moves, but my back is against the wall at this point, right? Pretty much we got no shields right now. I think, well, we just took out 1 shield. They have 1 more shield, and yeah, it's not looking the best, but we do get to another Rock Tomb before they throw another charge move. I'm guessing they were trying to get to a Crunch since we did debuff them. They know the Aqua Tail is not going to do that much damage. We end up getting the debuff, which is very nice, switching into the Credilli, or switching back into our Talonflame. They switch into the Superior, which is very interesting move on their part. I don't know why they ended up doing that. We basically almost one-hit KO the Superior. We're just going to farm down the rest of the Superior, and then we get to another Fly. I believe they still have 1 more shield left. Let's see if they end up using it here. I think they do. Oh, never mind. I swore they had 1 more shield, but apparently they did not. Did they use a shield already? Maybe they did use a shield and I just didn't notice, or they just didn't use a shield. I have no clue why. But anyway, we end up winning that match. That was actually, I would say that was close, but we kind of walled them for the most part. We definitely did wall them for a good amount of time there. So showing how good this team actually really is. But anyway, going into the next match, I will say the key players in this team definitely will have to be Talonflame for sure. Credilli is such a good switch. It's really good in terms of like doing a lot of like heavy lifting in terms of damage debuffing, which is really nice. All right, so we got Talonflame versus Credilli. Now this is going to be very risky, just because of the fact is Credilli's going to have the Rock Tomb, and yeah, I knew it was going to get to Rock Tomb before we actually got to our charge move. We're going to have to shield because this is basically 1-hit KO on the Talonflame, double super effective with the Rock Tombs. So pretty much what I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to overfarm just a little bit. Get to a Fly. I can get to another Fly if I want to as well, but I believe what I do, I end up saving it. I think I incinerate 1 more time, and then I think I save it. No, actually I go for another Fly. I thought I saved it, but anyway, that's fine because basically this is either going to get a shield or a KO. We do get the shield, which is very nice, and we end up switching into our Credilli as they switch into a Skeledirge. Okay, so now Credilli definitely going to have an advantage here based off of it being a part rock type. Going to be able to use that Rock Tomb, definitely going to be doing a good amount of damage to this Skeledirge, which is very nice. Now, the only thing is the Skeledirge is going to have a Shadow Ball or a Torch Song. Torch Song, I don't believe is going to KO me whatsoever. But if they use a Shadow Ball, decent amount of damage for sure. But they did get debuff, which is very nice. Oh, they do get to their charge move, another charge move. I don't believe this is going to be the Shadow Ball. This is either going to be the Torch Song or Disarming Voice. What is it going to be? It's a Torch Song, and I live with a smidgen of HP left, and I'm able to throw another Rock Tomb. Let's go, and let's see if they end up shielding this one or not. I don't... Actually, yeah, they do still have 1 other shield. They could have gained switch advantage, but they don't. They end up saving it for the Typhlosion in the back. Okay, so this is a double fire team. Very interesting here. But we do have the Clay Doll in the back, literally for this exact situation here. We still have 1 more shield left. I don't want to get Thunder Punch baited. That's what I'm thinking this could be, but they end up using a Blast Burn. That was very unfortunate. They end up switching back into their Credilli, But thankfully we still have our shield, which is nice, so we can basically yeah, we can shield up that rock tomb that's going to be coming through, and I believe we should be able to farm the Credilli the rest of the way down, which is very nice. And I believe we have a charge move ready to go. We have a fly ready to send. And if this doesn't hit, of course, we have our clay doll in the back. And yeah, it's GG's to my opponent. And yeah, we end up winning that game. Let's go. As I said, man, the Talonflame, clay doll, like the whole team just works in sync. I love having teams that just work in sync. I put it in PV Poke just to like play around with it and everything like that. I definitely wanted to go hit Great League hard with a Talonflame. Talonflame is just such a really good Pokemon, especially since it's a fire flying type. So, you know, of course it negates the ground typing, which is very nice. Because there are a lot of ground Pokemon in this, well, in the Great League for sure. But let's see. All right, took a little minute for us to get into the next game, but let's see what we end up having. Talonflame versus the Drapion. Not going to be the best here. Drapion definitely going to be able to get to that Aqua Tail before we get to our charge move, so definitely going to have to switch out here into the Credilli. Credilli can safely take a Crunch or a Aqua Tail, does not matter which one it ends up throwing at us. Crunch, throwing the Crunch, of course, Crunch is going to do way more damage than the Aqua Tail. That is fine. We're going to be throwing a Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb should be able to do a decent amount of damage, unless they shield, which they end up doing, which does end up debuffing them, which is very nice. Let's see here. So basically, since they use a shield, we're just going to use a shield here. Might as well. We're very low, so a Crunch could technically still KO us. That is why we end up doing that. Let's see if they end up using another shield or not. We're just going to use a Rock Tomb here. Let's see how much damage this ends up doing. Oh, they end up double shielding. That's interesting. Okay, so they double shield here. Might as well keep the shield. Yeah, they get to their charge move before we do. Of course they do, right? Probably going to throw an Aqua Tail, basically to save energy. Oh, never mind. They actually use Crunch. I don't know why they use Crunch. But anyway, we end up going into our Clay Doll, and they bring out a Mandibuzz. Now, in this game, I was thinking to myself, I probably should have stayed in with Clay Doll and just thrown an Ice Beam, especially since this Mandibuzz is basically just using what is it? Wing Attack? Aerial Ace? No, Aerial Ace is the charge move. But anyway, it's using a flying quick move. So essentially, I probably could have thrown an Ice Beam before I ended up switching into the Talonflame, but that's fine. We're just going to save the energy and as well as the health on the Clay Doll, switch into the Talonflame. Talonflame definitely capable of taking out this Mandibuzz, no problem. Let's see if they end up resisting here. Actually, they have no more shields, so this should KO, which it does. Let's go. Talonflame showing why it's the better bird in the sky. Let's go. And they switch back into their Drapion. Can I get to another charge move? And I can. Let's go. I think they were trying to farm us down so they can use Crunch onto the Clay Doll, but unfortunately they could not. We end up taking out the Drapion. What do they have left in the back? They have a freaking Talonflame, and they already knew we can Rock Tomb the freaking Talonflame down, and GG's to my opponent. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, this team is freaking amazing. This team is freaking awesome. Love to see it. Love to see it. Next match. Man, I love seeing that animation, bro. I know I keep talking about the freaking animation of this freaking hammer, man. And the thing is, everybody freaking has this pose, okay? I think almost everybody has this pose. Everybody wanted the pose. Everybody got the pose. I've seen a lot of people with this pose. I don't even care. I don't want to be unique. I don't really care. But anyway, we got Talonflame versus the Dugong. Now, of course, Ice is going to do super effective against flying, but I am part fire, so it's technically neutral, which is very nice. Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to use Flame Charge here just to boost up our Incinerate damage. It is a part Ice type, so we are doing a good amount of neutral damage. Basically, we're going neutral to each other, which is kind of insane thinking about it. But yeah, that's how pretty much it works here. We're not going to shield. Icy Wind. Decent amount of damage. Doesn't KO us yet, so we're good for right now. I'm gonna throw another Flame Charge here and basically just get the health just a little lower here before we end up switching out, because I believe we're just gonna switch out right here. Yeah, we switch right into our Credilli. Basically save the boosted energy we have on our Talonflame in the back. And yeah, I end up shielding this. I probably could have just took the Icy Wind, but I knew it was double super effective. So might as well just shield that up, even though it's like a weaker move. They bring in a Venusaur, which is very nice for me because we are going to be able to get to the Rock Tomb before they get to their charge move. We should be able to definitely be able to get hit by a Frenzy Plant, no problem. Definitely should be able to take a Frenzy Plant, no problem anyway, with that debuff, which is very nice. And we are going to be able to get to another Rock Tomb, which is going to be great. Basically double debuffing the Venusaur and as well doing some decent amount of super effective damage, which is nice. They basically try to get to another they try to get to a charge move, but we end up sniping with the Talonflame on the Incinerate. And then let's see what they end up bringing in. They bring in a Hypno. Okay, so Hypno might be a little tricky because if it has Shadow Ball, we might be in trouble here. Ice Punch also is not going to be the best for the Cradily nor the Claydol. So let's see what ends up happening here. I'm thinking in my head, use a shield. Basically trying to think, the Ice Punch of course is going to do super effective damage. I'm going to throw a Rock Tomb to at least debuff it here. I don't know if it actually used shields or not. Okay, yeah, so it's using shields now. So basically his plan was to, looks like, use shields onto the Hypno here. We're gonna throw in the Claydol. It is debuffed now, so that's good. The actual ground moves, the ground quick move on Claydol, this is like Mud Slap. Yeah, it's either Mud Slap or I forgot what the other one is. But yeah, basically not doing that much damage to the Hypno whatsoever. But also Confusion, since I am part Psychic, is also not doing that much damage whatsoever, which is nice. They are throwing Ice Punch. It's non-stab Ice Punch, so it's not like doing tremendous amount of damage to me. But we do get up to the Rock Tomb and build up a little bit more energy with it. Let's see if we end up doing anything with that. We do. Okay, we do get them down just a little bit more. I probably should have just thrown the Ice Beam. I feel like the Ice Beam probably would have done a lot more damage to the Hypno. Probably would have got us the KO there, but unfortunately that did not happen. And the thing is, I didn't know how much energy this Dugong had, so I ended up throwing my charge move energy. I potentially could have farmed it down, but at the same time I think they could have potentially farmed me down. So it was a very tricky situation and we ended up losing that game. I don't know, it definitely probably was operator error on my part, just not knowing like the count of the Dugong, where it was at that point. But yeah, anyways, you can't win them all. GG's to my opponent. But anyway, going into, I believe this might be the last game. It's either the second to last game or the last game. Let's get into it. As you can see too, my elo, we're at 23. Basically just need to get to 25 to actually hit veteran here. I believe this was my last set of the day. First time actually using this team was my last set of the day, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, we had Talonflame versus Jumpluff. Of course, really good lead there. They switch into the Drapion. Now, I potentially could have switched into Claydol, probably could have just switched into Claydol and just like shielded the rest of the way. But the thing is, I'd rather keep my Claydol healthy for whatever else is in the back. And then also too, Drapion has the Crunch and as well as the Aqua Tail that's really super effective and spammy against the freaking Claydol. So might as well come in with the Cradily. At least I'm going to debuff it a little bit and gain some shield advantage, which is nice. Yeah, okay, so I end up shielding this one. I believe we're shield for shield right now. I think we both have one more shield, if I'm not mistaken. I think I just let this go. I let this go. We either took both their shields or we only took one. I wasn't even looking. Okay, they use Aqua Tail, which is very nice here. We're just going to throw the Rock Tomb. This one should be connecting. Let's see if they... Well, I mean... I would assume it would be connecting if they don't have a shield. Ooh, and does a whole bunch of damage, which is very nice. We end up coming in with the Talonflame, sniping the freaking Drapion. Let's go. And let's see what they end up coming in with. They come in with the Morpeko. Alright, so this is where I say Flame Charge is very necessary, right? I can hide behind a shield and as well do a whole bunch of damage to this Morpeko, right? With my quick move and the Incinerate. Basically, I'm just boosting up my energy. As you can see, one Incinerate does a whole freaking load of damage to this Morpeko, which is very nice. We're obviously going to shield the electric Aura Wheel for sure. And yeah, let's get to another Flame Charge here. Another flame charge coming through. This is where I keep saying, like, I don't know if he still has another shield or if he's waiting, but we end up using a flame charge, KOing the Morpeko. Let's go. And they pretty much just have the jump bluff in the back. I'm pretty sure they probably are out of shields, have to be out of shields, because like there's no kind of way that they just let this jump bluff get like incinerated down, which is insane. Yeah, we have no more shields left. Acrobatics come through, taking out the Talonflame. Now, of course, we are not in the best of situations here. We have a Claydol that's, of course, you know, super effective against grass moves. So essentially, oh, my bad. But yeah, super effective against grass moves, but at the same time, Claydol is very bulky. And it takes the grass knot, or is it grass knot? Oh, the energy ball. It takes the energy ball, no problem. And we get to the ice beam. Definitely could have just ice beamed this jump bluff down. But they ended up conceding the match and we ended up winning that game. But yes, that was a 4 out of 5 matches that we ended up winning there, which was very nice. Let's see what our elo ends up being at the very end of this once I catch this Volby. Volby, which was very horrible IVs, unfortunate. And we get to 24-19. Let's go. All right, 24-19. That is where we ended off for the day, which is very nice. But yeah, if I end up hitting veteran, all right, I'm gonna throw this in here. If I end up hitting veteran, there's a special team I want to actually run in the Master League that I did not want to run today just because I didn't want to jinx myself and actually go down in elo. But basically, since we just got our Shundo Blacephalon, if you did not see our previous video from the Snorlax Gmax raid day, I got this freaking Shundo freaking clown, this Blacephalon here. We're going to be running this in the Master League. Now, I looked it up. It's pretty much rank 200 in the Master League, so not the best whatsoever, but it does a tremendous amount of fire damage, which is insane. So basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna run this Pokemon in the Master League if I end up hitting veteran at some point, hopefully during this rotation. But anyway, that is the end of the video. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the team and what you guys think of the video in general. Leave me a like and subscribe to the channel as it helps the channel grow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.